let's explore a few pro tips to help you get the most out of your kitchen. We're going to focus around prep tips, mainly using a cutting board and your knife. Now, it's really important that you use your favorite knife, large knife, chef's knife, for every task in the kitchen. It drives me bananas when I see people get their sharpest knife, which is typically a rusty and dull steak knife. This one's perfectly rusty and extremely dull. And they try to do things like cut bar fruit with it. You know, we don't have a straight cut because it's serrated. We don't have a smooth cut. So why not use your full-size chef knife to do even small tasks like cutting bar fruit for your margaritas and gin and tonics. It comes out better, it's faster. Quite frankly, it's the way the pros do it. Now, I work with home cooks all the time, and something I see very common is people setting up on the corner. They take their cutting board and they try to cut the corner like so. And the problem with this is that you can't square up to your cutting board properly. So get in the habit of having your cutting board up against the edge of your counter and nice and square. That allows you to square up to your cutting board, and this makes work much easier because you're not trying to lean into the corner, trying to work around what side of the cutting board should you work on. In fact, to the point where what I notice people oftentimes have a bull nose or a little kind of decorative edge in the counter. People will ask me, well, where should I put my cutting board? And I think to myself, that bull nose actually really serves as a function of making it difficult to get a nice edge lined up between your cutting board and your countertop. So if you're thinking about new counters, I recommend just a squared off countertop. Much easier, much more functional, easier to clean as well. And in fact, I would even go as far as to say it's not a bad idea to have maybe a 1/4 inch of overlap, just a touch of overlap right there. What that does is that tells you that you're using good posture. I always recommend my students have that little bit of overlap. And if you're getting lazy, you're leaning forward, the board walks away from you, and it's obvious that you didn't have good posture. So it's just one little tip you can explore at home to help get the most out of your prep board. It's important that your cutting board is large enough. I've got 3 sizes of cutting boards here. And this large one, this is my main prep cutting board. This is where I do my vegetables, where I'm cutting everything that isn't potentially hazardous. I don't necessarily cut meat or fish or chicken on this cutting board. But all my vegetables, my bread, my sandwiches, everything gets prepped on this board. And you might say, hey, I don't have room for a board that big at my house in one of my cupboards. And you're probably right. I don't either. So what I recommend is buying a nice large cutting board. So leave it on your countertop. It becomes part of the decor. And then when you're ready to do some cooking, it's one less thing you need to pull out of a cupboard to get ready to be successful. So large cutting board, if it matches your kitchen, great. Set it on the countertop and leave it there. I go ahead, this is a wood cutting board. I wash it down with hot soapy water, let it dry, and it's ready for another round. Then I've got a couple other cutting boards here. I have a small cutting board that I use for chicken, and then I have a medium-sized cutting board, which honestly would be great if you're in a smaller space. Something that's 14 by 10, something around those dimensions are going to do the trick. A plastic cutting board is better than nothing. Never use glass in a cutting board. A glass cutting board will just absolutely destroy any edge you might have on your knife. Plastic would be my second choice, and wood, for home use at least, I think works best because it helps maintain the edge. It's softer material, but also cleans up really well. One more tip is I recommend having a trash bowl. I like a red bowl for trash that is unique to any other bowl I have in the kitchen. I have metal prep bowls. I have plastic soup bowls that I use all the time for mise en place, but I only have one of these. Now how this becomes handy is as I'm working and I'm throwing in things, let's say onion scraps and the plastic wrapper off a cucumber, everything goes into my trash bowl, and I don't have to worry about pulling the trash can out, from where it lives. I don't have to worry about my dog getting in there. It's always ready to go. I have one chef friend who takes that farther, one step farther. They have a green bowl for compost and they have a red bowl for trash. That works for them. I don't live in a compost area, but if I did, I would take them up on that advice. So, red bowl for trash, it's an easy step you can do at home. That's gonna make life in the kitchen a little easier. Thanks for joining me in the laboratory. This is Chef Mark with Appliance Factory in Mattress Kingdom. Make sure if you enjoy our videos, you like and subscribe to the channel.